To China now, where an extraordinary row has developed over a tweet by the boss of an American basketball club. Daryl Morey from the Houston Rockets tweeted a message in support of the pro-democracy demonstrators in Hong Kong. That angered the Chinese authorities, but when the head of the National Basketball Association, the NBA, supported the right of freedom of speech, it led to an instant boycott and all pre-season NBA matches in China being taken off air. Here's the NBA's Adam Silver.
I don't think it's inconsistent on one hand to be sympathetic to them and at the same time stand by our principles.
I spoke to our China media analyst Kerry Allen and began by asking her how this story had mushroomed in China, where basketball is watched by up to 500 million people.
So this was a tweet made by Daryl Morey, who's the general manager of the Houston Rockets. And he tweeted back on Friday a small poster that said, "Fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong." And bear in mind, Twitter's blocked in China, but the government became aware of it and they decided they were not happy with it in the slightest. So originally what they did was they called in a boycott of the NBA, which is big in China. There's a big following and people watch the NBA games on CCTV, the main broadcaster. But it's gone further than that since. The broadcaster's actually cut its ties and said that it's not going to show these games anymore. And it started cancelling a load of events so that people can't watch basketball whatsoever now.
And it's not a case that the NBA and the Rockets aren't apologetic. They have deleted the tweet and they have clarified their intentions, but it wasn't enough, was it? Because the boss of the NBA didn't give the full-throated apology that the Chinese authorities had hoped for.
No, he didn't. No, I mean, he said that he supports freedom of expression and he's been quite careful about the way that he's worded things. But Chinese media today have noticed that he's arrived in Shanghai. There was meant to be this afternoon in Shanghai a big press conference and a fan event where people can meet their favorite basketball players. They can get signatures, and people have noticed that because Adam Silver, the head of the NBA, is in Shanghai, they're seeing it as, is he trying to now curry favour with China and repair the damage that's been done by Daryl Morey?
It's not the only American brand that has annoyed the Chinese over Hong Kong in the last week alone.
No, we've seen so many of these. I mean, they've been going back really to June when the Hong Kong protests started. China's really made the point that it doesn't agree with any company that shows support to Hong Kong, and what it wants to do is really hit Hong Kong in the pockets, basically. So any companies that are seen to be supportive of the Hong Kong protesters, it says that it can simply cut their mainland audience, their mainland market. So yeah, in the last week, another company, a good example, is Vans, the shoe company. So they hosted a competition which allowed people to submit entries where you can design your own shoe, and a number of entries that came in from all over the world. Some of these featured the Hong Kong protests, and China was really critical of the fact that these were even entries in the competition, and so it actually called on Vans to remove them outright, which it has done. So companies are nervous about this. They don't want to be implicated in this drama between China and Hong Kong.
Kerry Allen.